All right, are you ready?
As ready as I will be, yes.
As ready as you'll ever be. Okay, cool. Hey guys, welcome back again for another episode of Talking Bibles. I am Beau, your host, and with me today I have Melinda Bouma. She is Vice President and publisher of Zondervan Bibles, one of the best folks I know. Hey Melinda, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing awesome. How are you today?
I am so great. I'm so excited. This series has been so much fun to do, and this is our first set of episodes with a publisher. So it's so cool to get those kind of questions in, somebody that's her profession. So that's really awesome. I want to lead in kind of going from, we were talking about a couple premium editions on the last episode. I kind of want to go into some premium features that might come up or why they're not used. You would be the one to talk to about it. So
sounds good.
Let's just start with lined paper. Could we see that in the future? That's such a huge benefit for, someone that's buying from Allen or some Scholar editions having that lined paper as, a way to take notes in their Bible. Could that be something that you guys would do in the future, or is there a reason why you haven't done it?
Okay, so do you hear this? That's the sound of my pen to take notes. So I would say, there's no real reason we haven't yet. And could we in the future? Potentially, sure. So I'm going to make a note about that. See, we listen. It's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. The things that set an Allen or a Scholar apart from a Premier collection, you want to produce a product that is as close to that level of expectation. And I think those are, there's a few other things. Like a Cambridge wide margin has an index in the back. Yes. A, B, C, D. It's 26 pages with different letters. It's just a clever way to put blank paper in the back where you can create your own index kind of thing. They also have lined paper in the back. I just didn't know if there's any other things I might not be mentioning or what you guys have planned in the future.
Yeah, some of what we have planned, I need to keep under wraps still for today.
I got you. I understand.
But we do have some pretty cool things in development, and for that line in particular. And in fact, if you want to just, side note, talk about something that we thought would be, positive and successful and well received, but has been wildly beyond our expectations, I would say Premier Collection is that. And so thanks to everyone who did, review and purchase those and show us how much you value that, because it gives us then the freedom to continue to dream what that could be. So we will take note on these ideas, but yes, we have other things in development that I just can't share yet in terms of special features.
Well, cool. I'm excited about it. Those special features are like how people further engage with the text. You pulling out a notepad and paper and just writing down the lined paper, that's such an eye-opening thing. That's care. That didn't have to happen. That's really cool. I appreciate that. So
you're welcome. Well, thanks for speaking up. I think that's one thing I would say too is, I, as a person, our team, we don't know everything that there is to know, right? No one person can know everything. We're always discovering. We're always looking for new ideas. We're always learning. And so sometimes if anyone's ever disappointed thinking, why didn't they try that? Maybe we just didn't know about it yet, or we hadn't, it's like we're learning too. So this is great.
Well, it was funny. 2 years ago, I had an interview with Daniel Mars when he was publisher at Thomas Nelson. And we had this same talk. And I said, why didn't you use double-sided satin ribbons? And he said, we will, because we didn't know that. It's just really cool. It was a really cool moment where, I'm realizing this man is just like me. You try to do the best job you can, and you got to just take the feedback you get. So, because the decisions you guys make affect hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, their way they interact with their Bible. And it's not just this year, it's future generations, because the Bibles you produce this year are going to be in hands for decades. So those are important decisions that I don't think people might not see the gravity, that I just kind of want to emphasize how much gravity that has.
Yeah, thanks for that. And we feel that, right? I hope you can tell through this interview, I love what I do, and we have so much fun doing this, but it's not all fun. It's a very weighty responsibility.
It is.
And we know that, we take that so seriously, but we have fun together while we do it. So that's how we we don't take ourselves maybe seriously all the time, but we take what we do very seriously, because it's true. Like, this could be, I think of when someone receives their first Bible, if there's anything about it that makes it hard for them to read or get into it, then we have failed, right? If that's one of our Bibles. I don't want to ever be the cause that someone has a block to hearing God through his word.
Yeah. That's so refreshing to hear from a publisher that's a concern. The next thing I really want to talk about is Al Mohler. Like, Al Mohler's one of my favorite Bible teachers and theologians. Now, everybody in the comments, if you're not Reformed, just shut your mouths. Because Al Mohler is a faithful man. If you don't agree with his theology, whatever. But I'm so looking forward to his study Bible. Can we talk about that?
Sure.
Can we kind of prep us on some of the ins and outs of how it was working with Al and you know, what we have to look forward to with this study Bible?
Yes. So Dr. Mohler is phenomenal at administrating anything, I believe, right? Like, he's just a master organizer, leader. And we saw that in this project. He and the team, the editorial team, were just fantastic to work with. They brought a care and a passion to what they did that Dr. Mohler in particular cared very much about the notes and the content as much as the quality of materials and design, and making sure it's a portable Bible. So it's really fun to work with someone who has that same kind of care for all the different elements. And many of our authors do, but they all choose to lean in differently, right? Like, they all have different goals.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were phenomenal. The project itself turned out amazing. The content, like the study notes and the intros, are so accessible.
But it's awesome. It's so great.
It is awesome. It's been fun to read ahead of time. So that's nice. The design is just, again, I think it just honors the content really well. And that one has a premiere collection coming that has some special, I don't want to reveal too much because I haven't shown Dr. Mohler a full sample.
I cannot wait to see it. I'm so excited. You know, Al Mohler's, Dr. Mohler. Dr. Mohler's study Bible is just, I cannot wait to see it in the Premier Collection. This is the first study Bible in the Premier Collection, right?
From Zondervan. So Thomas Nelson has done a few. Yep.
They did MacArthur, and
exactly.
I understand that. But from Zondervan, it's going to be It's going to be better, right? Are you going to tell Philip, you're going to lay down the gauntlet and like ours is going to be better than y'all's? Are you going to do that?
No. That's so funny. No, Philip and I are good friends and we love, you know, we like to tease each other.
You can tell them it's going to be better, right? You
no
can tell
way.
Them not going to do that.
Different. No, I'm not. No, they do great work. Our team does great work. Their team does great work.
Do awesome
and
work.
It's cool because we do learn from each other and we share learnings and we help make each other better and stronger. It's great.
And that's such a great atmosphere. I could only imagine how cool that would be to work in that atmosphere. As we're talking about this, I'm already going to say it's one of my favorite Bibles. I've even seen it. So
that's awesome.
The Al Mohler Study Bible is going to be awesome. But another study Bible that's really kind of captivated me is the new NIV Study Bible, fully revised edition. And I can't say enough good things about this Bible. As most of you know, I'm an ESV guy, and I like primarily reading the ESV. So the ESV Study Bible has been kind of my lady. She's been my fave for a long time. She still has a purpose. She is an amazing study Bible, ultra in depth. You know, so if I'm looking for lots of specifics and stuff, I still go to the ESV Study Bible and a few others. But with regard to engagement and flow, the flow in this NIV fully revised edition is just smooth. It's like good wine. It's the only real good analogy I can come up with. It's like something really good that makes you appreciate the design.
Yes, I'm glad because this is actually something that is quite rare is how that committee works. So the NIV Study Bible, first of all, is the only study Bible we publish that has study notes that were developed by a group of people who are part of the committee for translating the NIV. So there's like this really tight connection between the notes and the Bible text itself that doesn't exist the exact same way anywhere else. So that's really special. And this committee, you know, it's been 35 years now that it's been available. And so this is a committee that has Dr. Ken Barker, who's been part of this study Bible from the beginning, but then has a few new members this time. And what they did is they got together twice a year and literally reviewed page by page through the Bible.
I love it.
Yeah, it was,
that's
and
awesome.
I mean, to sit there and listen to them, that's actually, okay, that's also probably my favorite thing as a publisher, are moments like that where I feel like I'm sitting at the feet of such incredible scholars and theologians whose goal is to make sure they're speaking accurately about what's going on in the text, but then always pushing themselves to make sure it's accessible, again, for someone that doesn't have the seminary degree, right? So just amazing. And they went through, they added new articles, they revised and expanded notes. And then, the design overhaul was done by our team here in-house. And so it's just amazing how it came together.
Yeah, and I don't want to draw parallels where there aren't parallels to be drawn, but like I think about William Tyndale, translating the Bible in English, how influential that resulted, the legacy that had. Well, we all have our part in continuing that legacy and seeing, starting with Tyndale, taking Latin and Greek, Hebrew, all those, and taking it and putting it in a way that a common reader could read it. That was the first step. The Gutenberg press, all these ways that we can get Bibles in hands has enhanced our ability to interact with God's Word. Yep. And now, like seeing this team, like you said, that's another honor, is seeing these translators and scholars really talk Bible.
Yeah.
That's got to be like you're watching history.
Nerd alert!
You're watching how this translation is going to affect people for decades to come, and how we're going to push this legacy forward so our kids can take it and push it again, so
it is. It's like a pinch me moment, to go,
yeah,
I get to be a small part of this incredible legacy that these individuals are working on today that will live on for decades. It's amazing.
Yeah. Like I go to work and make steel, and I think I'll look and I'll tell my kids, I was like, if you see a barge, Daddy might have helped make the steel for that, and they find it really kind of cool to think about, hey, if I see a rail car or if I see something else, I have a hand in that, but to see this implemented in Bibles, it's got to be a really fulfilling experience.
It is.
Let's flip this from super fulfilling to, what was the biggest miss in your opinion, kind of maybe just what you guys as a team had thought was going to hit well, but just didn't really hit.
Yeah.
What you got?
It's so I was thinking about this because we talked about this a little bit ahead of time, and honestly, the one that surprised me was, probably about 5 years ago now, but our NIV Reader's Bible. So we saw a lot of excitement for the concept of Reader's Bibles, and we worked on ours, and we did a really beautiful font. This was before Comfort Print, so. Maybe that was the trick. No. But we did our best, and it just didn't connect the way we'd hoped. And I mean, I look back, and I think I now have some learnings that our team can say, okay, I think I know why for part of it, and maybe not all of it. Maybe I still don't understand. But I was thinking about the optimal line length conversations, and that one got a little. The column got wide, and it was also thick. Yeah. So
did you catch our conversation with Randy?
Yeah,
about
I did.
That?
I did.
That's he's got some wisdom in that, and there's a lot that goes into attention span and words per line. Gap between lines. It almost seems on an unconscious level, I don't want to read this. This is too much. When you keep the column size smaller, it seems like every time you hit a line subconsciously, you feel an emotional win. I made it to the next line. I made it to the next line. You get what I'm saying? So
I do. Yeah.
So it's maybe y'all can revisit it with a little bit of a new perspective. That might be something that would be a great achievement. But that's the cool thing, is that you take the wins and you glean what you can from them, and you take the losses and you glean what you can from them. And that's all about growing and getting better as a publisher, as a company, as a person.
Exactly. And I mean, we'll see if we ever revisit that one, but I would just say, to your point about the learning, and then even, I think it was an episode with you and Jason, I can't remember for sure, but I think so, where you guys talked about, like, you can see when we put the intentionality in.
Yes.
Right? And so in this case, like, learning that line length and thinking about, okay, does a reader's Bible have to mean a certain exact expression of that? Or is it about always making it viable to be the easiest to read? And so we just kind of a sneak reveal, I guess. I won't quite say the name of it yet and give all the detail, but we took a lot of learnings of these past few years and we've developed a really cool, unique, multiple column expression. So if you think about poetry versus prose, right? And what's more natural for each setting. And we looked at that. We looked at line length for each and what that means for when you have a single column but move to double. And we worked with 2K on this concept. And I think and hope it will really bless a lot of readers because I can tell you all watching right now, it was tricky. And our editorial team spent hours, our composition team, hours looking at this and going, is this really how someone's going to read it? Or is this going to confuse them? And making those decisions to change things to improve them. So I think
that's great, though. It's going to be different, because usually if you do verse by verse or you do paragraph, seeing prose and poetry presented the way they're meant to be presented. I think Randy made a really good point about that in a previous episode. That is what a reader wants to see, I think.
Exactly.
And then optimizing line spacing, optimizing line length. But you're talking about upcoming sneak peek kind of stuff. Can you give us some more upcoming premiums? We talked upcoming non-premiums in the previous episode. Can you tell us some upcoming premiums?
Sure. So I talked about the purple goatskin NRSV that's coming. That, you guys, it's a beautiful purple. I cannot wait for it. The other one I'm excited about to tell you is that we do have a brown goatskin coming in the NIV side column reference. So I think I showed off the non-premium of that, but we have a brown premium in this lineup. And that comes out just in a couple months, which is great. And then the Dr. Moeller one, the Grace and Truth, that is a blue goatskin, like a deep navy, but then has some other features I'll let y'all find out. Awesome. And then, I haven't decided colors yet, but I can tell you that down the road, Thompson Chain Reference will have some premier collections.
Any red on the horizon? Because red, at least the burgundy. So this is the thing with the NASB, and I want to talk about this really quick. We might not even have a lightning round on this one because I have more I want to talk about. The judge, the side column reference NASB, which is kind of the equivalent of the single column reference NASB for you guys. They had calfskin, they had red, they had burgundy, they had blue and black. Is there any option or potential for paying homage to just a legendary edition and maybe taking the Czar and doing a judge kind of a judge tribute edition for that, where you had the calfskin with the calfskin liner, and then maybe like just kind of it would be kind of a tribute edition or maybe a special edition, or are special editions kind of not really on the horizon?
Oh no, some definitely are. We are looking at colors. We're looking at, again, just new techniques for certain parts of the project. So yeah, I don't want to go into too much detail.
I got you. I understand.
But yes, I think I never say never. Okay, so if there's something that comes up that's like, hey, could that be done? Maybe we haven't done it before, but that doesn't mean we can't do it yet. Hey
guys, leave a comment down below if you want to see the judge treatment for the Czar. Now that I think the text is optimized almost perfectly. I think that there's a little bit of text size difference, but whatever. If that interests you guys at all, leave a comment down below if that'd be something you'd be into, or do you like the way the Czar is currently? We'd like to hear from you.
Yes, we would.
And let us know what other editions you might want to see in the Premier Collection. Oh, there's so many I'd love to see. There's so many. I want to see an NIV Study Bible in the Premier Collection. I know that you might not be able to talk about that yet, but because like I said, it's one of my favorite new Bibles. I'd love to see it in the Premier Collection.
I would too. I would too.
Yeah. One other layout that I love is that preacher. If you know what I'm talking about, it's that the NASB reader from Allen, which is the classic reference. It's a verse by verse. I guess it really doesn't have to be verse by verse, but it has a center column references. It's technically called like a classic reference layout. Yeah. I would love to see that from Zondervan. That's one thing I'd love to see. Is there any potential for something like that?
Yes, so actually, we do have a comfort print NASB classic reference coming out this fall. So it's in our comfort print, in the 95 text, in that classic reference style with brief book introductions, the same ones I think that you find in the Czar. So it's got this great added content, but very classic traditional layout.
That is really so awesome. That is so encouraging too, because there are a lot of people that they are so used to using the Preacher. You know, that R.L. Allen Reader edition is called the Reader, but it's more of a Preacher. It's going to be really cool to see you guys implement those. Thank you so much for watching this episode. We're not going to have a lightning round this time. We've kind of run up against a wall. But thank you, Melinda. You are one of my favorite people. And thank you for taking the time and talking with me and talking Bibles with us, those of us who are together, those of you watching at home and joining along with us. So thank you again, and hope we can do this again sometime.
Me too. Thanks for having me, and thanks for all you do to help people know more about Bibles and how to read them well.